Hey guys, welcome back to Big Shoulders. You know, the show about Chicago, her culture, her people. Today is a really fun one for me because I get a chance to speak with an interview with one of my favorite Chicagoans. This was a guy I met almost 10 years ago driving rideshare of all things. And he's one of those, everyone needs to have these people in your life. The people that like their default is happy and optimistic and all of that. And that's exactly what my pal Vic Lugo is. He in fact he's such a bright light that he can't control his body, and so he's an amazing hip hop dancer and teacher of hip hop dance. And he's when I think of Chicago, I think of this dude. He's one of my favorites, and that's why I wanted to share him with you all. But Vic, welcome to Big Shoulders, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For
I'm really
sure.
excited to be here. I'm really excited to be here.
Good, good. No, you embody sort of the ethos of Chicago. You're a great dude. You're an optimistic, positive dude. You make other people feel great. You're super effing talented, and you're a Renaissance man. You're a dancer. You're a nurse. You're a choreographer. I mean, wow, what am I doing with my life? I mean, I aspire to be. I
I'm doing
aspire to be
this. I'm doing
as
this.
dope as you are, man. But I guess let's start at the beginning. You know, you're a Chicago-based dude. You do teach dance. I love your videos. You're always breaking something down on your Instagram, and we'll have everybody follow you at the end. But it's no matter how bad of a day I'm having, like you'll come up on my feed. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I mean, Vic's happy, so that all's right with the world. We're good. He's still dancing. We're gonna be all right. But so tell me, man, where did your journey in dance, the interest in it, and kind of what it's become? Because it seems like for as long as I've known, because I knew you before you were a nurse, and now you're a nurse, but you're still a dancer. It seems like it's sort of been there for a long, long time. And tell us about this. Where did this come from?
Actually, well, let me just quickly chronologically put this in order.
Sure.
Before I explain it, so I started dancing in high school.
Okay.
And I'll delve deep into that.
Sure.
And then I became a nurse. And then I met you. And then dance just got more involved. I got more involved in dance.
Okay.
And then now we're here. So that's the quick overview.
Sure.
But like starting at the beginning of my origin story for dance, I so there's this girl, right? And
Okay. There we go.
always
That's
starts
how
off
it
with the
starts.
girl. And so she was a Renaissance woman, and um, she was a thespian. She was a dancer. She was like a culinary genius. She loved to cook.
Okay.
She was super athletic. Much like the person I try to be. I try to be all those things.
Sure.
And so only out of all the things that I've listed, I'm like I don't know how to dance. And so I think this was like 2007, 2008, and YouTube was just starting.
Right.
And the right, teenage Victor with his right mind said, you know what, let's look up YouTube videos and how to do the arm wave.
Okay.
And like I just practiced in my basement on learning how to do the robot, the
All right.
moonwalk, and it was terrible. It was just,
Sure.
I started dance with my own selfish, like my own vain thing just to try to get this girl. And so like and so like yeah, I started dating her. But then the funny thing was I got so involved like learning those moves on YouTube and like dancing and performing. Like after we broke up, I was like I I love dance a lot. Maybe I should like just keep doing this.
Right.
But it wasn't, I didn't take it seriously. Like I think when people first start off dancing, um even for whatever reason, including my reason of just trying to get the girl with my sweet moves,
Right.
like there's like this visceral feeling of like moving your body, and then there's good music happening, and then like serotonin just releases, and it feels great. Um, and so like I wanted to keep chasing that high, I guess. So I kept taking dance classes, kept freestyling with friends, meeting up new friends. Unfortunately, I went into nursing school. I had to stop all that. All my other friends, they kept dancing um, a little more serious than I did during what 2012 to 2015 ish during nursing school, and so I was I quote unquote was behind,
Mm,
but um, I really worked hard during nursing school just because um, one, as a lot of people may know, Filipinos they go into healthcare,
yes.
whether it be a doctor or like a nurse or respiratory therapy, whatever you want to say. I didn't want to be a nurse. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to draw. I wanted to paint, graphic design, dance. But the clutches of the Filipino patriarchy told me I can't do that. I had to provide like enough money for myself and for my
Right.
siblings, which I ended up helping as I was starting as a nurse.
Mm,
Um, so working as a nurse, I've like figured out my own ways of taking care of myself, taking care of
sure.
my family.
That's awesome.
It yeah, yeah. It
It's
was
really
definitely
noble. It's a really noble thing. Like I think one of the biggest traps, not to interrupt you, sorry.
no, you're good.
One of the biggest traps I think there is out there is we think that if we have to stop, and I know so many people because obviously I'm in the arts related world, universe
Mhm.
too. There are times where you have to step away from it, not because you don't love it, not because it doesn't feed your soul, but because there are other things that need to be taken care of, and it's just not practical. But the
Right.
beautiful thing about something like dance or acting or playwriting or screenwriting or whatever you have is you can go back and pick it right up. You might be a little rusty, but it's one of those things where if it's really in you, and like I said before, there's a huge light in you, and dance is in you, and anybody who meets you or watches your stuff, it's so clear that whether it was however many years of nursing school or if it was a PhD, that wouldn't change the fact that it was in you. And so you did what you had
Right,
to
right.
do. You helped your family, and bam, you came right back. Which everybody needs to know that you don't have to. You can always go back to it, right?
Yeah. Um, I thank you for the kind words. I think one of the toughest parts as an artist, as you know, is the reprioritization
Mhm.
of life. Um, I obviously didn't want to. I obviously, the passion is so strong,
Right.
but we got to be responsible sometimes. Got to be an adult,
Sure.
and you know, do the thing we got to do.
Right.
But you're right. I think you mentioned it. I'm a dabbler. I kept dabbling in dance, like even during nursing school. Like in the 1 hour free time, I'd like just play music and just move, or
Hmm.
like just feel good, and then
Right.
go right back to studying. And it helped me through nursing school for sure. Um, but after I started working as a nurse, um, so I started working. I did like stroke nursing, pediatric ICU. I'm now in the operating room. So I'm doing all these different types of nursing skills. Um, and because I don't work Monday to Friday, XYZ, I have like these off days. And so I just
Right.
started taking class. Started taking class again. I apologize. That is my dog.
Oh no, we couldn't hear. And I have dogs too, and I always think they're going to be hurt, and they aren't. It's all good.
Oh, awesome. So I started taking class, started freestyling a lot again,
Oh, there I
and
heard him. It's all right. It's all
all
good. We
good.
love dogs.
started freestyling more, started like meeting more friends, more people that like I relate to as far as
Right.
like the artistic world. Um, yeah, they definitely helped me like reignite this passion. I think of it as like the flame in you, but
Yeah.
uh, I didn't turn off the flame. It's just like a small dimly lit fire.
Right. Right. Right.
Once I had all this free time, I cranked it all the way up, and I just took so many classes, and then I went to LA for the first time, and then I met you.
Right.
Like, just I that week, I think I just took a week off of work, and I said I'm taking classes every day, like 3, 4 classes every day.
Nice.
Um, I didn't have a ride or anything, and so that's why I had to call the Uber. Uh, Meet you. Luckily, I met you, and just to remember the small detail. I think you were like, introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Kyle. And hi, I'm Victor. I'm like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Chicago. And you're like, oh, I'm from Chicago.
Right.
And you said, what part of Chicago? And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm from the Chicagoland area,
Yeah.
from Hop States, and
Right.
because nobody knows like the little areas of Chicago.
Well, here's the
Uh,
thing. I knew Hoffman Estates because your boy. I came from Joliet. It's you have a lot of people that will. I shouldn't say a lot, but it's you hear stories about people going from the city into the suburbs, and there's this whole thing. I'm going to be doing maybe a series of episodes about this concept of what is a Chicagoan, because there are people that were born and raised in the city that will drop this question. If you're really from Chicago, what
uh,
high school did you go to? It's like, well, and it's interesting. I know why they're doing it, but what I don't think they understand is it's a really elitist question,
it is
because it's the
really.
same question that some Americans will ask of people who immigrated here. And if you immigrated here, but you've been here 15, 20, 25 years, are you less of an American because you weren't naturally born here? That's clearly not the case. I mean, I know people like I'm close friends with the bloggers out of Chicago. They call themselves 77 Flavors of Chicago. I don't know if you follow them, and
Oh
it's
no,
food
but
and history for them. And that one guy, Dario, he's born and bred Southside Chicago, but his girl, um, Sarah, she was born in Jordan, and she came here for
Mhm.
summers growing up. So because she didn't grow up here, is she less of a Chicagoan? Because I can guarantee you, she knows more Chicago history than probably most Chicagoans. So this
Yeah,
idea that you're somehow less Chicago if you're from Downers Grove or you're from Cicero, or it's just we all watch the Cubs, the Sox, the Bulls, the Bears.
right.
We all eat pizza, we all eat hot dogs and Italian beefs. So
Hmm.
there is, we all know, there is this concept for those of you outside Chicago. We call it Chicagoland, which means the city Chicago, and then sort of like the satellites that are around it. And it's Chicago is in the heart, and Chicago is in the mind. And you absolutely are the best of Chicago. So when you said I'm from Hoffman Estates, I'm like, it's all good. I mean, it's not like Hoffman Estates has its own TV stations, and
Right.
it's all those things. But yeah, so that's something that we need to kind of let go of. That everybody goes into the city. Everybody has spent time in the city. Everybody loves the city. You don't have a choice but to absorb Chicago, whether
It
you're
just
inside of
goes
it,
into your body.
yeah, yeah, or
You just
next to it. It flows like cholesterol from the Italian
Mhm.
beef. So yeah,
Exactly.
when you told me that, I was, it's like it's all good. And yeah, again, I lived longer in the city of Chicago, and I still go back and forth. I'm on the west side, back and forth from LA because I have to be in LA for what I do. Um,
Right.
but have lived longer in the city of Chicago in terms of my citizenship in Chicago than I did in Jolietville County. So
Mm.
again, who cares?
All good.
I
All
say you're
good.
Chicago, and I'm a Chicago dude. I got my card, and I'm saying you're Chicago. So that's all there is to it, man.
I appreciate that. I got my Chicago card, guys.
Right? He does. He does.
um, let's see
But
where
yeah,
I leave
so
off.
we met in the Uber, and I was taking you. Wasn't I taking you to some type of a dance event? Because I think you told me about that,
Um,
or somewhere. It was somewhere in
you
the valley.
no, you took me to a dance studio.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
you did. You took me to a dance studio, and yeah, I just took more classes, met more people. But basically, I've moved around in nursing, kept dancing to the point where like you'll understand this, Kyle, but like there's like a level in bit. Well, it's like hobby
Sure.
for recreational purposes, and
Yep.
you get so invested, you like learn the ins and outs, you learn the little details. It's like more than a hobby,
Right.
but you're not getting paid for it, so it's like not professional. But I don't. There's like that in between. This,
You're
you
yeah.
know?
It's the unpaid professional. You have the
Yes.
skills, you have the know-how, you have the intense focus and knowledge. You're just not drawing a check from it yet.
Yeah, and which was fine. I do like tweaking things. I like learning about things and improving on things. And so in this middle area, I didn't just take class to just take class. I was asking people like, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you start a group? How do you hold practices? How do you communicate with other teachers? How do you teach out of state? And so I was starting to build a professional portfolio,
Hmm.
um, but like no one to help me. I didn't have a mentor. I kind of just have to
Right.
figure it out. I mean, peers were helping me,
Sure.
but nothing was
There was no,
like
there wasn't some wise sage that you
no
could call
Yodas.
upon and
No
say,
Yodas.
okay, and when this happens, what do I do? Well, young man, you blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah. A lot of us don't have that.
Yeah,
You just got to kind of, you sort of like patchwork it together like a blanket or something.
yeah. And no Obi-Wans, no Yodas to
Right.
help me out.
Right.
Um, but trial by fire, as they say.
Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
just lots of mistakes, still make mistakes, which is it's completely fine as long as you learn from it.
Right.
But just maybe 2019 to like actually end of last year, 2023, I got this opportunity to like direct a whole dance company just from
Whoa.
taking classes, teaching everywhere, and like just knowing people. I eventually started directing this whole team of like 30 to 50 people, and it just
Nice.
didn't it right it just happened.
Right.
Not like I was meditating, manifesting, which helped for some people, but I wasn't say I need to please take care of a whole company. I want to have a whole company for myself. Like I
Now, how
just
did see? This is good stuff, man. Because yeah, right. Maybe you weren't consciously manifesting it, but you bootstrapped your education in dance. You were learning as much as you could do. You were dancing as much as you could dance. So it makes total sense that your preparation, when it met opportunity, that's what we call luck. And because it's true of actors too. It's we can prepare, but it's up to them to decide to cast you
right.
or to call you. And so
Yeah.
uh, when this opportunity for this dance company came around, what was it? What was it? You got a call or an email say, "Hey, I've heard that you're really good, or you're really so and so told me." Like, was there? Could you connect the dots of where these folks in this company heard about you? Did they see your videos? Like, how did it? How did it? Do you know? Like, how is this something you piece together?
So I was doing little projects with other teams
Okay.
from when I got out of nursing school, like 2015 to like 2019. My own little personal projects, other friends' personal projects. But I just left a small like dance team slash company, crew, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And then this big company team, they were holding auditions. And um, they were a team that I really admired. They were actually like one of the first teams that I saw like when I was starting getting back into dance after nursing school. Like I saw them at a competition. They won the competition. I was like, whoa, these guys are so cool. One day I'll be just with them. And so there were auditions, and it was my first time auditioning for them, and I got in. I was like, great, perfect. And I just went through that season. It was like a fall season of 2019. So like September, August, November, those until December. We went to LA to compete, and um, we got best theme award, which was awesome. But
Yeah.
I I was just being myself. I was trying to be friendly. I was talking to everybody. I was trying to work hard. I was working out on the side just to make my dance better. Always ask questions, and I was curious to like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? The same things that I was doing, like when I started off dance again after nursing school, I was just doing the same exact thing because I was
Hmm.
just curious and just
Sure.
like willing to learn. And
Right.
these people were willing to tell me. And at the end of December, after the competition, they sent me like a text, a DM, an email. They were saying like, "Oh, would you be free for a quick like feedback interview?" I'm like, cool. I love feedback. I love hearing feedback. And
Sure.
so I met them at Las Tres Pasadas, if you know where that's at. Um, it's in Albany Park.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
It's in the corner. We're
Was it?
corner.
Is it? It's not. Is it not too far from the Cuban place we grabbed a sandwich at a little while back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really
I
close to there. Really close to
because
there.
I used to. I lived in Albany Park in the early 2000s, and it's one of my it's one of my favorite neighborhoods in Chicago. So yeah, yeah. I go back like because when you again side note, sorry, when you said you wanted to meet there, I'm like, let's go. I love the old hood. That's cool.
Yes.
So you met them
That's
there?
also my old hood. It's also my old hood when I
Okay, all
first
right. Yeah, no, it is. I don't know. This again. Quick side note. Um, it is the most diverse zip code in the United States, which kind of makes sense. I think there's 23 languages spoken in the public schools within
Yeah,
the Albany Park neighborhood of Chicago.
yeah.
So which is pretty dope. But
I
sorry,
love it.
just sidebar.
I love it. All good. Keep adding the sidebars. I love it.
Sure, sure.
Um, so I went to this taco place. I was eating my tacos. They were asking me for feedback. Oh, like, oh, I loved it. It was the best season ever. So excited to keep working with you guys. And then they laid down on me. They were leaving. The directors were leaving. And
Oh,
they're like, I was like, oh, what? Like, what's gonna happen? And then they dropped the next hammer. They're like, how do you feel about being a part of this board to like take care of the team? And I was like,
wow.
I mean, I
And
didn't expect it. I wasn't. It was my
no, no,
first
no.
season.
Right.
It was my first season. Like I had, did not expect anything. I just came out of a bad time at another company, and I was trying to push my luck and get better things with this company, and it just caught me off guard. I was like mid bite of a taco. It was a carne
That
asada.
that again. That's so Chicago. So I went to a job interview, and while I was eating my tacos, it's just I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's so Chicago. That is a great story, and I loved one. Not I don't want to back up too much, but I loved how you kept saying. I just kept asking questions. I kept asking, how do you do this? I ask questions. I ask questions. I ask questions. And I feel that's an area I know so many people across so many different disciplines and different arts that they're afraid to do that thing because they're afraid that, oh, I'll look like, I didn't go to a fancy acting school. So if I ask somebody who's further ahead of me how to do this or how did you do that, I'm going to look weak or, I'm going to look, and that's not true. It's just, it's like, okay, you're being honest and open. I think what you're doing is cool. I'd love to learn how to do that. How do you do that? Will you teach me? You kept doing that, accumulating all this knowledge. Then you work with these people. You were happy and working hard, and then they invite you to an interview, and out of the blue, you get offered directorship of a company. This is one. This is so you, man. This is you're so this is a humble, talented, just salt of the earth dude. These are the types
Thank
of dudes that keep the world on its axis, okay? And so one, I'm so happy to have heard that this happened for you, but it does not surprise me at all. And I think it should encourage everybody out there. My big thing is my motto is let your love lead. So your love of dance, having to quit, having to go to nursing school, having to pick it back up, all of these things, and all the stuff you go through when you think, oh, I have to give up on my dream, I have to da 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 da, and you didn't do that. You kept nurturing that flame, and then
right.
out of nowhere it becomes a raging fire, because you just were yourself with this company, met them for tacos, and they're offering you this directorship. That is absolutely amazing. And
Yeah,
what
it
happened
blew.
next? So you're sitting there, taco falling out of your mouth,
It was.
and, and
I
then
was just
what
like,
happened?
speechless. I guess one of the I'm trying to remember the questions that I asked. See, I'm still asking questions even after they give
Good,
me
good,
the
good.
spot. I was like, well, what does this entail? And then they tell me like, oh, you have to take care of the team, do warm ups, make choreography, performances, etc. And then one of the bigger questions I asked was like, why why me? But like follow up was like, why me? I was only here for one season. Like,
Mhm.
and I think I'm a caring person where I look at like their previous members who've been there longer than I have, and
Right,
they weren't offered anything like this.
right.
And then I was like, what's the deal? And one of the directors, shout out Franz de Guzman, who was one of the directors. He's This is an awesome analogy, and I keep repeating it because it makes complete sense. Um, he was saying all the other people, they have this nail and they have this hammer, and then they're just going at it really slowly. Victor, you come in, take the nail and just smash it right into the wood. I'm like, okay, that's great. And then he's like, yeah, that's great. And so I love that analogy just because like it can go into other disciplines, not just dance or whatever, but like
So I would draw. Tell me if I'm interpreting this correctly. Because what it sounds like is they're playing it safe with their hammer and nail,
yeah,
and you again, self-taught, bootstrapping your own dance education, learning, trying to pick up as much as you possibly can. You get that opportunity to go and do the work, and you're pounding that nail in there because it's what you're there to do. Is that, am I reading that correctly?
yeah. And in that sense, like I guess from what I interpret it as, it's like I just went 100% maximum effort.
Right.
Like you said, like yes, safe enough, but sometimes if you just know what you're doing,
Hmm.
you don't have to be cautious.
Right. You don't
You
have
know,
to think about it because it's so
yeah, you
natural.
just
You
do
know
it.
what you need to do and you just do it.
Yeah, and that's what Franz said. He told me like you just did it. There was you just did it,
I
and
like bronze.
I love Franz, and so that boosted my confidence. I don't look at myself in the most positive manner where I'm just like,
None of us
uh,
do.
it's a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, do I deserve this? But like
Mhm.
he brought out like confidence in me, and my self esteem felt better after that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I me and my friends, we became a new board. We got started in 2020, getting things going, and then the pandemic happened.
Uh,
And so dance had to stop again.
right.
But, you know, we like each worked on our own dance thing on the
Hmm.
side. I was focused mainly on the nursing part during the pandemic, which was
Sure.
rough. But once things opened up, dance blew up again. And up until 2023, end of 2023, we were competing, we're performing at like the highest level I've ever done. We even did Lollapalooza at the end of
Wow.
last year, which was sick.
Wow.
Um,
So when Lala, so who were you performing with for?
uh, oh yeah, I skipped a lot of details. My bad.
That's good.
We
That's a huge deal, man. I want to know who you were dancing for. That's
Yeah.
great.
We were dancing for Jay Wara. I don't know if you know her, but
Yeah,
she's like
yeah.
a house DJ. And it was her first time at Lala, and she was like, I want to try something big. And she literally, because of our social media team, like Isabel Collado, Jonil Escobar, they were working really hard on making our social media look good. Jay Wara found us on TikTok, and then she was like, I like these guys. And then DM'd us, and then
Wow.
it was like a 2 week turnover,
Wow.
and we had to make something, and we just had to go on stage. But that was like the craziest like gig we ever had, because
She
amongst my
just so she
friends,
just found you, man. She just found you
she just
guys.
found us. She just found us. Yeah,
See, again, this should be the lesson here, boys and girls, is do your thing and put it out there in the world, because you never know what's going to happen. If you're letting your love
exactly,
lead, and you're just being yourself and you're doing your thing, you never know.
exactly. And I know this sounds like a humble brag, but like literally, we we weren't like ready, or like we weren't expecting any of this.
Mhm.
We're just friends who like voluntarily takes care of this company. We don't get paid or anything, and we just like having fun, and we work really hard.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, just prepare, prepare, prepare. But if the luck doesn't happen, nothing happens,
Right.
and then that luck hit us at the right time.
So it seems
So
so. On the one hand, preparation met opportunity, and
yeah,
then just the just by virtue of the fact that you guys allowed your passion to pull you forward, this DJ finds you online. That led to this other opportunity. I mean,
yeah,
uh, this is such. Uh, this is such a great story, and everybody needs to be just taking notes on this. Just, again, no matter what you're in, like, I mean, and it might not flow the way it did for you, but this is a it's a testament to nurturing your passion, nurturing the thing that you love, not giving up no matter what comes your way. Keep nurturing the flame, and continue to ask questions, and just do it, and things will happen eventually. I'm a big believer in that. I'm so happy that
right,
happened.
right.
So then, so
And
you
then
so you did it for Lollapalooza. Did you say you did it for another?
no, no. So we did it for Lollapalooza.
Okay,
It was just the whole weekend. We were just there,
that's
and
great.
it, I've I'm gonna be honest. I've never gone to Lollapalooza. This
Okay.
was my first time, and I don't think I could ever go as general admission. Ever. I can't do it.
No, after what you went through, yeah, man, it's a
No,
whole
I
different.
after the treatment, no way. I can't do it. Um, but it's just now she has our contacts.
Right.
She she praised us a lot. Her whole team, her entourage knows about us. They spoke highly of us, and just I mean, hopefully it it keeps flourishing. And as
Sure.
far as the team, because now that I've stepped down, like I hope that opportunity stays within the current team.
When you say
Um,
step down, does that mean you're not um, caring for this company anymore?
I've stepped down as a director, so
Okay.
I don't watch them. I don't choreograph for them. I don't. I've I've separated. There's
Okay.
a bunch of new directors. The same way I came in. Like we
Okay.
were like all of us as a board were leaving, so we had to bring up new kids to take over the team.
Gotcha.
Passing the
But
torch.
you're still dancing. You're still choreographing and all of
Yes,
that.
still do that.
Okay.
At the end, as of the end of 2023, like I've just been doing my own choreography, my own dancing, my own freestyle, all in my own time, as
Okay.
opposed to like being in a strict schedule with the
Yeah,
company.
I love seeing your breakdown videos in the OR. And I see you'll catch this guy in his scrubs just breaking. Just I'm not good at that, but it's
Hey, it's all
pretty
good.
great. It's great.
There's some downtime. Like I know, like there are times when I'm waiting for the doctors to come before
Mhm.
we start surgery, and I'm like, play some music, and I'll just start dancing.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where in terms of like I'm curious to know about your influences. Is there a particular corner of hip hop that that you like best, that lights you up? Are there particular artists, dancers that you aspire to be like or work with? Like what are some of the things that you'd like to that have that continue to inspire you, but also things that maybe you'd like to do?
Right. That is a big question.
Sorry,
That's no,
waffles.
I love that. I love the big questions. Um, as far as like people
Like,
I want to dance with, people I want to work with, um, there's this guy named Carlo Durang. He's from San Diego. He now works in LA, but I've been told I look like him, and he knows that I look like him, and we've met already. But it's like, and we've taken a picture together just to prove to people that we
that
don't
you're
really
different
look alike.
people.
Yeah, we're different people. But I'd like to like
Oh,
eventually,
I googled
yeah,
him. I totally see it. Yeah, you guys could be brothers without a doubt.
yeah. It's the smile, I think. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you guys have a
he
couple of killer smiles, man. I mean, this will tell you something about Vic. Like you can see it right there. Like he smiles. He could, it's like there's the sun and then there's Vic. It's just like whoa, okay.
close my mouth, close my mouth. But like he's a cool guy, and he the way he dances, a reason why I want to dance with him, like him, get inspiration from him. Um, the man is like just knowledgeable in dance.
Mhm.
Like he knows what he's doing. I think he he's always thinking on how to dance. He knows how to dance. Like he knows his rhythms. He knows like the exact pictures, the exact pathways of movement. And he doesn't. He makes it look so easy, and that's what pisses me off. Like
Yes.
because like I'm struggling. I've taken classes from him, and I've like learned some of his classes online, and I've like taken classes in person. But like I am out of breath. I am tired, and I
Right.
am like my brain hurts, and he's still smiling. He's still
Right.
like he's no sweat. Well, he sweats a little bit, but like it the control and his charisma at the same time just it it just outshines everything. And so
Right.
that's one of the things I really like aspire to work on.
Sure.
Um, other people that have inspired me. Um, I have some friends here in Chicago, friends like Bo Bracasio, Rianne Tadai. They were my co-directors. And not only
Co-directors within that company that you
yes,
were.
like
Okay.
so
And by the
they
way,
were
what is the name of the company you're with? I don't know if we.
oh, good. Chicago Onyx Dance Alliance or CODA. CODA.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Um, but they were my co-directors, and we were in the trenches every day, making choreography, discussing things, um, and they each kill it in their own way. And I'm
Mhm.
just like super inspired by them because they make me want to work harder.
Sure.
Um, and then as far as like other dancers that I really like, um, Domino Johnson, he was actually one of my previous mentors slash um, directors from one of the projects I worked on. He from Chicago. He's from Chicago. He moved to LA, and through hard work, dedication, he was able to be this huge dancer. You've have you heard of not what's his name? What's his name? Jungkook,
Yeah,
the
I have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, right? Um, and so he has this song called "Standing Next to You." He's one of the dancers in that music video. He's one of the dancers dancing with him live. And so this guy teaches all over the world. This guy is dancing with the hottest artists. Like he's started from Chicago bottom, working his way up, and really like. motivated me a lot. And he's younger than me, and I'm like
Sure.
pumped. Him.
Well, dude, you're
Yeah.
Filipino, so you're gonna age like when you're 50, you're still gonna look 20. So you're all good there, man. Just keep dancing. So no, that's wow. That's pretty awesome. Again, I love there's this is the other thing I think when it comes to the art or having the dedication to it is you can never get tired of it. It really is in you, and the fact that you've had this great arc of your sort of patchwork, bootstrapping education, just being yourself, the thirst for knowledge, the pursuit of it, then gets you, this directorship where you're looked at because you shine so bright and you're so easy to work with and so fun to work with that they're literally looking past people they've known for years because you're just so it. Um, and then you're continuing to do your own thing, do your own choreography, developing your own style. uh, yeah, I mean, I'm just incredibly inspired just to hear about this because I knew some of this stuff, and again, I follow you, so I see some of these things, but a lot of this stuff
Right.
I didn't know, and that's yeah, it's pretty great, man. What do you have any plans for 2024? Are you going? I don't know. Are you going to any events, any conferences? What does dance look like for Vic Lugo in 2024? And don't feel pressured to make it more impressive if it's not, because I've had some years where it's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, my best. So, and I'm sorry, I don't have
Darndest.
it's the concept. It's like, what show you should be on? I'm like, yeah, I'd really like to be. So I need you to become a casting director and get on that show and hire me because that's not
Yeah.
how it works,
That's not
But
how it
I'm
works.
yeah,
It's luck. Like you said, it's luck and
yeah,
uh, timing and perseverance.
yeah.
I say perseverance because I'm actually gonna start teaching weekly at
Okay.
a pretty big Chicago studio, Visceral Dance Center. It's close to uh, I don't remember if it's Albany Park, but it's like on Rockwell. The studio used to be by like a Golden
Well,
Nugget.
I typed into Google VISC, and the first thing that came up was Visceral Dance Center, Chicago,
Yeah,
Illinois. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's the one. And so I've been trying to get in there for so long.
Okay. And
I'm
now,
trying to like it's
and now
one of my
you're
side
teaching?
quests. It's one of my side quests. Like it wasn't like I need to dance here, I need to teach here, but it's like if I get in, it's pretty nice, like off the checklist. But like
Right.
I've been going at it like I think before the pandemic too. Um, but like I finally was able to talk with the owner and finally get a spot starting next month, and so I'm really pumped for that.
How did
Um,
they? Can I ask how that came apart? Did you just start going over there, emailing? Did you just stop by one day and ask if you could talk to somebody? Like, how did you go
so
from this is one of the side things I wanted to do to I'm teaching a weekly class? Like, how'd that happen, man?
so so as far as like the many steps that got here, so it started off with just a cold email, just a cold email like, hey, I want to teach you, and I gave like a quick dance resume, like classes I've taken, companies I've been a part of, etc. And then I even sent like a highlight reel.
All right,
Dance they send in highlight reels to like companies, agencies, just like here's the videos I've done, here's the work I've done, and just from when you started to now. It's kind of like a quick minute of just this is what I do,
hmm
and nothing. And I waited, nothing. I would take classes there, so they have my credit card number. They know I'm there. Um, and then
so
I've even
you did the cold emails with all your information, your resume, your video. Didn't hear
yeah.
back. How long between then and you and like when you started taking classes there?
I think like concurrently. I
Okay.
like I
Okay.
was
So
just
you're
I was
taking
like
classes, you're sending these emails,
let's
and
just
how
let's
long?
just start let's just start like showing up,
Sure.
right? I take classes. I start off with like once every couple weeks, once a month, etc. And then had friends that taught there, so I would sometimes sub for them. I would maybe collaborate and maybe teach a class together with a person who teaches there weekly, and
Hmm.
I've done that a couple times. So and even my friends, like they've mentioned my name or they've maybe like passed my name along. So like my existence is there. Like they know my existence.
Right.
I'm a real person. I'm a
You're not.
real
You're not.
person.
You're not invisible. You're in the orbit. You're on radar. All right.
Yeah, and I'm not just like a random telemarketer cold email that was
Right.
ignored.
Right.
Not like a scam.
You're in.
So
You're in the building. You're in the room. People see you.
yes, exactly. And I think that's half the battle. Like you just need to be seen,
Yeah. Yeah.
and right, you just need to be there. And I I found out that one of my friends became like manager there. And
Mm.
I said, "Hey, just throwing this out there. I've stopped directing and being a part of this dance company, and I have opened up my dance time. So I have availability, and I can provide these level classes: beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever you guys want. And these are my days that I'm free." And they said, "Sure, I'll let the owner know."
Hmm.
And I've checked the same emails, checked the same DM so many times, and nothing happened. So I was like, ugh, this is it. This is the end.
Right.
This is where it all ends. And then 3 months later,
Ooh.
he comes back to me. Guess what? I finally talked to the owner, and I apologize for the delay, but they should be reaching out to you. And just from there, I've been discussing and talking with the owner, and finally figured out the details, the logistics, and we're gonna start off with one class. But yeah, I was. That's over like 2 weeks of just back and forth discussing what he needs.
Sure.
I was really trying to hone in on. It's not about what I need, but what your studio needs and
Of
how it
course.
can help.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and
How?
so
What problem of yours can I be the solution to?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a pro tip, guys. Like
Yep.
it's not about you; it's about them.
How can I help you?
Exactly. How can I help you make money?
Right. Right.
That's the truth. That's the truth of
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
But yeah, we finally worked out a deal and signed some paperwork, and I get to start next month, and I'm so excited because
Well,
like
congratulations, man. That's huge. And I mean, again, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you just keep putting that line out there. Just you never know.
yeah,
It's like you might not
as
get
as
bites,
the
but
kids say, you gotta shoot your shot.
absolutely shoot your shot. Shoot all your shots. I've been shooting my shot for 17 years now, and I could say I got four back in 17 years. Yeah,
That's
and it's just you
better
just
than
never know.
nothing.
It's
That's
here's what you
awesome.
hear. Not to make this about me, because obviously your
It is
story is
about you.
absolutely fantastic.
Can
But
I help you?
I'm taking a whole bunch of benevolence and inspiration from this. I actually had decided this year because I got my first real agent, like real deal
Yes.
Hollywood agent in
Congrats.
in LA last January. Okay, and he found me, which has never happened before. I've never I've done four feature films, all independent. I was never the first choice ever. I was always like third or fourth, like people change their minds or whatever. But it is what it is. You know, I've got my credits.
Hey, you're a choice.
I've done some good work, like work that I can honestly say I'm proud of. But one of the things that has eluded me is like mainstream television, and every single person I came up with in Chicago, all of them. I counted because I did the math a month ago. I know 32 people, 32 actors. All of them have TV credits. I'm the only one that doesn't, and it's something that has been it. You know, it gnawed at me a long time. I'm just like, I know how to do this. I know what I can do.
Yeesh.
And and then last January, I get this call from this dude who's been paying rent on Wilshire Boulevard in LA for 20 years. So the dude's making money. He's successful. He knows what he's doing. And we had a talk, And I ended up signing with him. He's the only agent I've ever had that I hear from that
That's
will talk
amazing.
to me like, yes, it's like, I think this would be really good. Would you consider doing this with your hair? Da, da, da. I want to submit you for, are you comfortable doing blank? I'm like, I'll do anything. And then, there were the strikes. You had the writer strike, we had the actor strikes last year, and we're slowly
Yeah.
coming out of that. But I had kind of made the decision for 2024 that I was just gonna, like, what? Maybe I just need to focus on my own independent work. Maybe I'm just I need to be done with this pursuing of mainstream TV and film. Like, dude, they ain't called you in 17 years. What are the odds they're gonna call you in the 18th? And then as soon as I'm like, yep, I'm an indie guy. That's who I am. That's what I do. In the past month, I've gotten more TV auditions than I probably have in the last 10 years. And for
Yeah.
like shows, like my friends that have TV credits, like, they're like, yeah, this is like whatever. For me, I'm like, this is huge. So like shows that I should be on, shows that I fit, a whole bunch of Chicago shows, um, that type of thing. So I hearing your story today, I'm like, and especially after those auditions, I'm like, yeah, we ain't done. We're just getting better.
Right.
We've only learned more. We've only gotten more life experience. We've only gotten better at our craft. Why walk away now? You know what I mean? There's that whole cast of Chicago
Why would you
Med,
make away?
dude. Chicago PD is going to be on forever, just like Law and Order. At some point, they're going to need some new blood, and your boy's going to be ready. All right.
That's right. That's right. And
Oh,
you gotta stay ready. You
yes.
gotta you gotta stay ready for those opportunities because like Lollapalooza, like this
Yep.
agent, like they'll right when you're about to step away,
Yep.
just pulls you back.
Yep. Yeah. No. No. Your story. God, I'm so glad we talked today because this is fuel for anyone, whether you're a dancer, actor, like a business idea. There's something, anything you want to do. The key is, like you said, it's perseverance. It's really not being afraid to ask, like to assemble and gain as much knowledge as you possibly can to integrate it into the things you want to do, and letting your love lead like you do. You went out there and you put that nail right through the 2x4. People saw you do it, and you were getting calls, and because you're shining so bright, you're doing your thing, folks.
Yeah.
Don't give you never fucking quit. Just keep pushing, keep going, and we can all one day be as cool as Vic. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, this is great, man. So no, that this is great. So you're going to be teaching a weekly class. It's I love that it was a place that you wanted to be at too, and it was just like, maybe one day, and now it's one day. Like, man, I'm so happy for you. I don't want this to sound condescending because I'm proud of you, but I'm proud for you. As somebody who's like in the trenches with the rest of us, pushing,
Yeah.
fighting the fight, and just trying to do the best that you can. And I mean, you now have like three. I mean, if you're a boxer, you've got three KOs now. You've got this
That's
directorship, you've got
that's
Lollapalooza, and now you've got a regular teaching gig. Dude, you're 3 for 3. This is amazing.
I love that. I like you saying it out loud. I I should have. I mean, I should have realized it back then. But you're making me realize that. Yeah, they are knockouts.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
that's
they are. And it was again, you didn't know you were stepping into those rings. You
yeah,
just, you were shadow boxing, you were doing your training, you were doing everything. And then when the time came, you were just like, excuse me, and you were ready to
nice.
go. So,
It's
no.
it's like you said it too. Like one day, and I'm like thinking back to 2015, watching this dance team for the first time. One day I'll be part of that. Then like
Mhm.
years later, I'm a part of them. I direct them, and then I told myself at some point I was like, I want to dance backstage or on stage with somebody, and there it happened. And just all these one days, they are one days. There will be one day where
Mhm.
you'll do these things if you just
Yeah.
keep it up. And
Yeah.
man, crazy.
Good stuff, man. No, this might be our most inspirational, aspirational, just sunshine out your eyes episode. And so I'm I'm so glad you came on because this is really good. Like just on a purely selfish note, I'm like I'm glad I did this for myself. So
Yeah, yeah,
but it's
good for you.
yeah, this is great. You're doing wonders for my self esteem and my drive. But that's great, man. That's great. I'm trying to get back to the city very soon. Just I've got some flames here in LA that I'm nurturing that are starting to really crackle, and I just
Good.
need to keep the not blow them out, but keep them fed. And but no, I think we might have something going on summertime and summertime shy. I love summertime shy. So we'll see what
Beautiful,
happens. But for
beautiful.
sure, as soon as I get back, we'll break bread over some cubanos or some tacos, or we'll find one of the
Real
many dope
food.
spots in Albany Park and break bread, my man.
Say that again. My
I
bad.
said we'll meet in one of our dope spots in Albany Park and break some bread.
Oh yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, that was it. That was one of the best cubanos I think I've ever had in my life. What was the name of that place we went
I'm gonna
to?
be honest with you. It was my first time going there, and I
Really?
literally just
Oh, dude,
googled it.
because it's funny because the way you talked to the guy who came out, I guess who was working the place, I thought you knew each other because that you knocked it out of the park. I'm trying to remember what was. Let me hang on. A Cuban restaurant. We'll give a shout out. Cuban
Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah.
Albany Park, Chicago. Mima's Taste of Cuba.
Ah, yes.
Mima apostrophe S. Mima's Taste of Cuba. Check them out. They're right on Irving Park Road in Albany Park, Chicago. Those were some amazing sandwiches. I love
Yeah.
those. Yeah. Shout out to Mima's. Good stuff. No, that was no. I thought you were. I'm like. This is one of his. Dude, I'm
No,
down.
I, first time there, first time meeting the guy.
That's hilarious because I thought you guys knew each other. That's funny. That's great. Well, we'll end it there. But I'm so excited for everything you've got ahead of you. Like I think about what you've done already just by being yourself. You're only gonna now like you're gonna be putting on like the serious heavy metal armor with this dance company, and it's dude, you're going to war. Like I mean, the stuff that's ahead of you is going to be great, and we'll check in with you again. Assuming you're available. When you become a big deal, and yeah, we'll be inspired all over again. But Vic, my man, my friend, thank you for coming on. This was so fun. This was so recharging. And all of you out there, if you know what's good for you, follow our man. Yeah, follow our man Vic. How can people follow and support you? Let's drop the
Yeah,
socials, man.
I just have Instagram at this point, but it's just V underscore Lugo, Lugo. And that's it. That's simple. But
All right.
thank you, Kyle, man. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brian. This was amazing.
Yes.
Um, yeah, this was eye opening even for me. Like even just the things you've said, the things that I realized I've said, and um, this like motivates and inspires me
Oh,
because
cool, man.
now that I have more goals, more things to work on,
For sure, man.
and like, it's just it's making my fire burn more.
Good. Good. That's the thing. Is again, it happens. People get tired. You keep swinging and swinging and swinging, and you don't connect with the ball, and it can take a toll. But you just sometimes it's like sometimes those breaks, those times when you have to walk away to do the thing you have to do, that
Right.
time away, just makes the heart grow fonder, and it just gets more powerful. So again, if you're out there, you're the type of person that you've got to do what you got to do what you have to do. But remember, you can always come back to your passion if it's a real passion and live in your heart forever. And
Yeah.
our man Vic is living proof of that for sure. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on. We will
Thank you. Thank you.
we'll connect. We'll connect soon. I'll hit you as soon as I get back to the city.
Yeah. Just just
Yeah,
text me and we'll meet up.
absolutely, man. So all of you out there, please, if you've enjoyed this, you don't have to look at my ugly mug. You could look at Handsome Vic. So like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help us with the algorithm. Again, this has been Big Shoulders. We love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.